In today's top cannabis news, millions of dollars of vape products are now finally out of quarantine in Massachusetts. Another federal legalization bill is being introduced. And what would you do if Mickey Mouse put your Nanna in jail? Sue him, of course. It's Thursday, August 6th, and this is your Trichomes Morning Buzz.
Broadcasting live from the trichomes.com studios in Southern California. It's time for your Morning Buzz. We bring you late-breaking news that keeps you up to date with what's happening in the cannabis industry.
First today, remember those quarantine vape products in Massachusetts? They've finally been released. MJ Biz Daily reports Massachusetts is ending its quarantine of cannabis oil vapes, allowing resale and reclamation of those products provided they undergo new testing for heavy metals and vitamin E acetate, the additive blamed for the 2019 vaping-related health crisis. The quarantine was put in place last November on the heels of a September ban on vape sales at the height of the vape crisis, which sickened thousands and caused the deaths of dozens of people. The original quarantine order set aside all regulated vape products in Massachusetts. The order was later amended to allow sales of new vape products if they met certain testing and disclosure standards. But vapes manufactured before December 12, 2019 remained under quarantine. Roughly $45 million worth of vape products were affected by the quarantine order. Commonwealth Dispensary Association President David Torrisi told the Boston Business Journal. The reclaimed and retested vape products will have to display labels noting they were previously quarantined and retested. Alternately, licenses can voluntarily dispose of the quarantine vape products if they are unable to reclaim or remediate them.
Next, a federal cannabis legalization bill is being introduced by a Minnesota senator. According to Ganjapreneur, U.S. Senator Tina Smith of Minnesota has introduced a bill that would regulate cannabis like alcohol and tobacco, giving regulatory authority to the Food and Drug Administration. The proposal sets the legal purchase and consumption age at 21, would establish a national strategy to combat cannabis use by youth, and establish rules for cannabis-impaired driving. The measure would, of course, also remove cannabis from the Federal Controlled Substances Act. Smith said the DUI laws should, quote, ensure that recommended best practices do not contribute to racist enforcement patterns, and that the strategy to prevent youth use would include, quote, special considerations to prevent racially disparate impacts of the strategy. Currently, the bill sits in the Committee of the Judiciary, which is chaired by conservative South Carolina Republican Lindsey Graham. The measure does not presently include any co-sponsors. There are at least 4 other bills in the Senate that would legalize cannabis and allow commercial sales. All are sponsored by Democrats, which are currently the minority in the chamber.
And last up today, a grandmother is suing Disney World after being arrested at the park for possessing CBD. Marijuana Moment reports a 70-year-old woman is suing the Walt Disney Company over her arrest at Disney's Magic Kingdom in Florida last year for possession of CBD oil, her attorneys announced on Wednesday. Hester Burkhalter, a grandmother who suffers from arthritis, was arrested after an off-duty sheriff's deputy discovered the oil in her purse at a security checkpoint. Her detention was filmed and created headlines across the world. While the charges were subsequently dropped following a 12-hour stint in jail, she's now seeking compensation from the massive entertainment conglomerate. She's got a legal powerhouse behind her, too. Attorney Ben Crump will lead the case. If that name sounds familiar, it's because he is the same lawyer who's working on multiple high-profile cases, like representing the families of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor. The situation illustrates Disney World lacks 2 things: common sense and common decency in how they treat people, Crump said during a press call on Wednesday. It is entirely outrageous that Disney World would discriminate against people who have medical conditions that don't respond to common pain relievers. It is one thing for Disney to say because she had CBD, she is not allowed to come onto their property, he said. It is another thing entirely to have law enforcement arrest her and put her in jail for 12 hours after she told them the oil was recommended by her doctor for medical reasons.
And that was today's Buzz. Thanks for listening. For more cannabis news and insights from industry professionals, and a place to discuss these stories and others, visit trichomes.com.
And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. You can also keep up with Trichomes on all social media platforms and the Trichomes YouTube channel. For trichomes.com, I'm David Fortin.
And I'm Allison Ben-Yehuda. Come back tomorrow for more.